You say that.
Okay. Let's begin the message by reading
Let's
from the
begin.
book.
Let's begin the message by reading from the book Our Daily Bread. Necessary renewal. Do not quench the spirit. Paul, 1 Thessalonians 5:19. When the apostle to the Gentiles wrote this exhortation, he did not mean that the spirit could be destroyed. Instead, he was trying to renew the mental attitude of those who were suffocating their higher spiritual tendencies. We often see people who go against their own conscience in order to avoid being labeled as spiritual. Nevertheless, incarnate souls are placed in the laborious learning experience in order to rise from the world as glorified spirits. This is the highest purpose of the human school. However, humans are still a long way from the great truth. They habitually prefer strict conventionalism. Only at much cost do they open their understanding to the realities of the soul. Actually, customs are powerful determining elements in the evolutionary process, but only when inspired by principles of a higher order. Therefore, we must not suffocate the seeds of the spiritually constructive life that sprout daily in our hearts under the influence of the merciful Father. There are brothers and sisters who leave the earth through it. Thus, as disciples look back on the activities who leave the earth through the same door of ignorance and indifference that they entered it. Thus, as disciples look back on the activities of each day, they should ask themselves, what have I accomplished? Have I accentuated the traits of the inferior individual of yesterday, or have I developed the lofty spiritual qualities that I want to retain tomorrow?
That's okay. I remember. Thank you. Thank you, Virginia. You can wait for the prayer, okay? All right, friends. So let us pray, feeling our connection with the loving and kind spirits, the spirit doctors, the nurses, the therapists. Dear Mother, Father God, we rejoice in your presence. We are so happy to know that you exist and created and sustain us for immortality. We're even happier to know that we progress and never regress. And to complement it all, you sent Master Jesus to our lives to show us the way, which is love and only love. It is so good to know of the good news, the gospel that invites us to deep transformation. And we open ourselves ever more deeply to feel your presence as we pray also for others, those who could not be here today. And for whatever reason they need support, help, loving care. May they feel the hands of the loving spirits applying energy medicine onto them. May they feel renewal. We pray for those who have their names in the book of prayer, at Cardiac Radio, at the Spiritist Sort of Virginia, and at Spiritist Society is connected to us. And we rejoice in the wisdom of your love. Thank you for giving us the permission, for enveloping us with the protection and the inspiration to study together and to receive the therapy that we need. Thank you, God, and so be it. Okay, today, for the first time, we're streaming through Instagram too, huh?
Awesome.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Finally, StreamYard added Instagram
I like that.
after years. So praying works.
I can
It
check on
works.
Instagram for you.
That's so kind of you. But we need you here, right? And you can go there, not for Instagram though. We have a
Yeah,
group.
I know. I'm just joking.
Thank you. You can go. You are dismissed. It's a holiday season, right? Before I begin, I would like to remind everyone, before I forget, because at the end sometimes we're like rushing out. Saturday, God willing. I mean, people can go any day they want to watch Christmas with the Chosen. But if we want to eat popcorn together, isn't that fun? God is so good, right? It's luxury to say, like, we're going to sit in those reclined seats, eating popcorn together, watching this, and to top it off, see Andrea Bocelli singing. How wonderful is this? Talking about Andrea Bocelli, it's so meaningful to us because in the center, yeah, you can figure it out with her, okay? Talk with her. I think she's waiting for you. So, Andrea Bocelli is blind. It's so interesting because he was born with a visual impairment. By 12, he became fully blind. But before he did, he learned the piano and he was exceptional all the way through his life. But it's so beautiful because in the center, years ago, we studied, thank you, Carol, we studied the book Memoirs of a Suicide by Yvonne Pereira. And when we studied that, the spirit that dictated the book is Camilo. And Camilo is a prolific writer in Portugal who lived in Portugal and killed himself because he became blind. So I know it's a different context, but the beauty is to show that in spite of a limitation, Andrea Bocelli is an inspiration for us. It's an inspiration to see somebody doing so much and to expose himself after all the glory he has in the world across all walks of life now. At this age, he exposes himself to be at the forefront of this Christmas and the Chosen. So, like, he decided, I am with the Christ. This is big. Not enough for us to analyze that when he chose that, he got sick. Why am I saying this? Because today we're going to talk about our reincarnatory commitments. And sometimes, if not always, it comes with great decisions that will be challenging for us, that will be challenging so many instances that even our health may be compromised. But are we willing to keep on going, or are we going to quit? So before I share some slides, in this message that Virginia read, Our Daily Bread 135, Necessary Renewal, at the end, Emmanuel asks questions that are truly compatible with our reflections in the course of the spiritual being. What have I accomplished? Have I accentuated the traits of the inferior individual of yesterday? Or have I developed the lofty principles, spiritual qualities that I want to retain tomorrow? So these are things we'll keep in mind as we share a few slides and then watch a video together that will be quite instructive, okay? So let me open the slides. Thank you, John. We're gonna recapitulate a few slides and then watch a video and ask a few questions. So, we reincarnated for profound transformations. The question is, since we reincarnated, have we changed in such a way that people who know us since our birth can tell, oh my, you've changed for the better? Because if that hasn't happened, we need to run. Not away, but run for it. We need to change so fundamentally that the people near us look at us and like, whoa, you're different. You used to say this, do that, but you're no longer. You changed. Especially the people who were power struggling with us in our relationships, and vice versa. When they look at us and they say, whoa, are you sure you're the same person? Say, I don't know myself either.
Very true.
Right? And it's good. And you know why some people cling on those traits that are not good? It's even morbid. Because they actually don't know what to do if they are not like that. They feel strange. They're strangers to themselves. And that's why many people don't know how to do the leap. Because they're like, oh my gosh, so who am I now? Does that mean I'm weak? Because that was my strength, but it was not. It was the weakness. But we thought it was a strength. So we thought, oh my gosh, being like this was so good. People admired me. But I created so many problems with it at the same time. Because remember, people admire us in their morbidity too. If you go to Netflix, you'll see 10,000 morbid things, right? I won't mention a name because we shouldn't watch it. Just reinforcing morbidity. And the appreciation of people in our lives doesn't mean we're right. Okay? When we are applauded by people, it doesn't mean we're right. It means those people think alike. It may be good, it may be bad. So, how far are we from really creating those transformations? And it's not to show, but to be. Naturally it shows. But it's important that we are courageous. That's why Jesus said it. I remember the first time I read this passage, Bartholomew was talking with Jesus. And then suddenly, he said, the trademark of those who follow the good news is joy, that we get, hope, okay, courage. Then I was like, courage? But why?
To live that life,
You have to have courage to be loving Whereas people think that it's good to be indifferent. Like today, I went to my daughter's school for the holiday party. And I thought there were other parents there. No other parents in her classroom. The two fifth grades. Like, where are those parents? And the teacher's like, I think what is this? We're abandoning the kids now? We're like, yeah, they're grown up. No, they're not. They're just fifth graders. So then I thought, maybe I'm wrong to be here, huh? Maybe I shouldn't be here. No, but they had a sign up genius. I signed up. So they asked. So I'm not wrong. Okay, they needed volunteers, but volunteers, not volunteer. Then I looked at the kids, I looked at the teachers, and I said, no. Maybe parents are very busy. I don't know. Maybe the kids don't want them to be here. But Virginia wanted me to be there. She said, Mom, can you come? Of course I will. So, why am I saying this? Because when we have the courage to love, and when I arrived and I hugged her and I kissed her, people looked. Because people are not used to. But it's good to be used to that. So we need courage to show affection when it's needed. Because how is the world going to move forward, progress, if we're not who we need to be? If I say, oh no, here they don't kiss, I'm not going to kiss, unless it's prohibited, but it's not prohibited, then we can kiss, we can hug, and we can talk with them, because the kids know you, they know me since first grade, many of them, but they don't even say hi. It's so funny how they behave. And I know all of them by heart. And I say, hello, hello, hello. They say hi, they're shy. It's the age, it's the culture.
They're different than many adults.
Yeah, and even adults, I agree with you. I know adults who are like that too.
Like, well, especially, of course, not necessarily on the street when you're walking, but that's one of my favorite places to say hello to people and say hi. And, 99% of the people
Yeah,
respond.
right.
Yeah, most of them smile.
Yeah, you're ready to be Brazilian. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know what you said.
You need a Brazilian passport.
Honorary one. We can petition to that, John.
It's just a cultural aspect, and it's okay. People are loving within, but we need to encourage the real expression of affection. And that is part of our profound transformation, right? In the past, we didn't care about people. Now we care. Now we need to show that we care. How do we show the few of these slides? I'm just recapitulating so we can go to the case. How does the spirit transform itself? How do we transform ourselves? We need a curriculum, right? We need resources. So our reincarnatory plan, we reincarnate, and there's a plan, and the plan encompasses resources. From resources, we have relationships. Relationships are everything. I wish somebody has told me that when I was a kid. That's why I repeat it again. Relationships are more important than grades, are more important than beauty, more important than whatever else, material assets.
So interesting you're saying that. When I was still working, it was one of the things that I just naturally worked on, because if you don't create a working relationship with people in other departments, or even within your own department, you can't get anything done because they don't trust you.
They don't know you, they don't trust you.
And you can't do it on the phone. Well, you can do it on the phone. It's better to do it in person.
I agree with you. And it's so funny when you go places and people say, you have to apply over the internet. But I'm right here. I'm going to send an email to you, but I'm right here. You see, that's the day and age we are. Relationships are so important. Pain is a way to displace the things that we don't need. So, as Leon Denis says in the book, After Death, pain is law in this world. From root canal pain, which is a pain, to any pain, to labor pain, to any pain, it is needed, as Louise Hay used to say, before we shoo the pain away, ask, what have you come to teach me? And that's good to have this book. I can heal.
You can heal yourself.
You can heal yourself. Thank you. In the last part of the book, she has a list, and now you can find the list over the internet of the symptoms and the thought pattern that possibly created it, and the thought that needs to be rearranged, the affirmation to boost and displace that. So why is it in my life? And go within and say, yes, it is true. Thank you, body, for teaching me that. I was overlooking it. I didn't want to think about it, but I need to. And then, even for children, okay? I'm going to say this to us parents, grandparents. When our kid, as little as they are, they come, throat. Why is it so common? I know, biologically there are reasons. Always throat. Sore throat. Always. Why? Go look in psychosomatics. They want to speak up, to be seen, to be visible. Why coughing? To call the attention. So then we can get to know of it and think, am I giving enough attention? And we can talk with them. Even show the book and say, look, is that what you need? Attention. Am I not giving it to you? Is that not giving it to you? Is somebody in school? What is happening here? Do you know? So we need to boost that inner reflection in our children from an early age, to the point that they will go to the book themselves and seek the solutions. And do the affirmations with them before they go to sleep. Do the affirmations. And that's the knowledge of the truth. It's a way to boost our transformation. It's all about the truth. So a major question for us is this: how good am I into, one, perceiving the truth, two, accepting the truth? Because the point is, many times we don't even perceive it. And two, because we want to escape, we're like, I know it's probably there, but I don't know. I don't want to look. Right? And then we escape. That's why I see so many adults, it's so sad, in this escape mode. Travel, 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 travel. It's all about traveling now. Craziness about traveling. As if traveling is going to bring you the happiness. You travel, come back, you're the same, everything's the same. Yes, it's good to travel. I'm just saying this because this is the pandemic now. Traveling. As if this is going to solve all of our problems. The environment where we reincarnated offers opportunities for us that are unique. Okay? Unique. So unique that we needed to have eyes to see. So we were born in a place, like sometimes in a neighborhood that has particular neighbors, particular shops, particular schools, and then we move to another neighborhood or to another city or to another state or to another country or to another continent. And in each one, we need to see what we have to do to learn. I know diplomats, they travel a lot. And with the ones that I've talked to, we've worked on this. Why is God asking you to be there now? It's not about others, about you. And then we're going to see the questions at the end to make that assessment. And every reincarnatory plan is going to give us the main resource, the practice of the good and charity. But what is this? Is it going to the shelters? It's more than that. It's about learning to open the heart, learning to open the mind, learning to build feelings that are real for others to the point that one day we'll be like Jesus. No matter if people love us, we'll love them. And we are happy. That suffices. We'll be happy just to love them. But why you're doing this? Just because. If you ask Jesus, well, why are you doing this? Why? Why?
So the reward in itself.
Yes. God is so good that He rewards us for that. It's like when you read a book, you feel so empowered if the book is good. That God gave us these rewards, intrinsic rewards, right? Because He's saying that's the way to go. And we can't forget that charity is all about being kind towards everyone, not a few, not those who don't bother us, who are very superficial relationship, high and by, because that's easy. We want to love those whom we have a deep relationship. And if we are of those people, I hear that a lot. I don't want to depend on anyone. Oh my gosh. Wait, because life is going to teach us a lesson. We are dependent already.
I don't know why people don't understand that. You brought up another one.
Right?
A member of the family that just
Yeah.
said that the other day.
Yeah.
And my wife struggles with that particular person because of it. And she doesn't hold it against it. She just mentioned it to me because I haven't heard that. But exactly what you're saying. I don't need anybody. I can do it myself.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is.
And it's sad because when you grow older, you see many people who come and say, oh, Vanessa, I'm thinking I'm getting old and I don't know if I go to a nursing home, but I don't want to live with anybody, none of my children. I don't want to be a bother to them. And like, okay, so question to you. Why are you worried about it? What if you don't even get there? Because you think you're going to live that long? What if you don't? And what if God wants you to be there? What if God wants you to be with that particular person? No matter how hard you resist, you have to because it's in the plan. So think, wherever I am, that's what I think. If I get there, no matter where I am, there's going to be a spirit descent. If it's a nursing home, we form one. If we go to the lower zones, we form another one there. We start praying until it changes. And that if we have this certainty inside of us, No matter if we are in hell, which doesn't exist, by the way. If we're there, we can transform hell. But Vanessa will depend on people. Then let's read renunciation. Alcyone shows to us how to go to the marsh, to the swamp, and make it a beautiful garden. I know she's Alcyone, but between Jesus and Alcyone, we're closer to her. So if we think Jesus the bar is too high, we have Livia, Quintus Varus, Celia, we have Alcyone, we have all the disciples. So we have so many people proving to us every day that we need to apply ourselves. I'm not saying it's easy, not saying we're not going to cry, but we're not alone. We have friends to lean on. And what's the problem if we depend on people? Who said we don't? It's just an illusion. If we say, I don't want to depend on people, we're blind to the people we already depend on. We're blind. Talking about this, I will skip straight. I'll go back to the slides, okay? I will straight go to the slide about this. Let's see if it's gonna play here. Yeah, you can see the slide. You can tell me because there's always a glitch, right? Ay, ay, ay. Looks like this. You can tell me, Karen. Yeah, see if you're listening. Yeah, because, sorry friends, I know, because we have to change the audio input. Yeah. So it has to be from the computer. Here, I think this is the only one that works. Let's try again and see if that works, okay? So it's good because we're very curious. We're very curious. It's the microphone, not the speaker that needs to be.
It could also be the connection. That's it.
No, yeah, it's the microphone that needs to be here from the computer. Okay, hold on. Let's try once again. This is more focus. Focus, right?
At Hospital Esperanza, founded by the devoted Euripides Bassanufo in the spiritual plane during the 1930s, a group of dedicated doctors and therapists were about to rescue Evaldo, who spent more than 10 years in extreme subjugation in lower zones. Dr. Manuel Filomeno de Miranda describes Evaldo's status as unconscious and under a deep hypnotic trance. But most surprising of his condition is that he's encapsulated in a dark cocoon.
What is this cocoon?
Asked Dr. Miranda to Dr. Messer, the coordinating surgeon. Well, Evaldo's mind has created this cocoon due to his guilty conscience and self-punishing vibrations.
Why did that happen?
He created this cocoon to escape and hide from his own misery, built especially in his last reincarnation. Before his last reincarnation, he spent 10 years being prepared to work both in spiritism and politics due to debts acquired in the previous lives. He reborn in a noble spiritist home. His mother was loving and devoted. He even got married to a good spiritist wife. But as soon as he became an influential politician, he claimed no time for spiritist commitments. He then quickly attuned to corrupted individuals and engaged in extramarital affairs. And the unexpected happened. His wife was taken by a fatal cancer. He got into deep depression once he realized the great damage he did to many lives. In 3 years, he marched quickly to death. After 10 years under spiritual obsession, he was rescued by our team of workers due to his mother's intercession. And here we are preparing for a very delicate surgery in which he will need a team of surgeons to free him from his cocoon and clog his own production of self-punishing guilt.
As Jesus said, from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded.
Let us all be careful and preserve ourselves from doing evil and not fulfilling our spiritual commitment. So we supplicate for divine help, asking for protection and inspiration to walk into the difficult journey of our spiritual ascension. This case was extracted from chapter 21, Experiência em Comum, in the book Tormentos da Obsessão by Manuel Filomeno de Miranda through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco.
Wow. So let's see. Evaldo, let's go back to that slide. Let's go back to the slide. So, previous lives led Evaldo to the need of being in a spiritist family, being a politician, and an active spiritist. So, if we go here, his relationships. To assure him that he would make it, he was born in a spirit. In his case, because it was a difficult case, he needed a spiritist family and then a spiritist wife. Make sure that he would stay on track. Okay? Then, let's go. Let's identify here. Opportunities. He found a center. He didn't need to build a center. The center was there. All he needed to do is enter, work, go back home, do his things. It wasn't enough. There he had the knowledge of the truth. He had opportunities to practice the good and charity. Even pain came his way. His wife came and died. And what happened to him? He got depressed and died soon after. Why? Guilt. That's why in the book Thought and Life, there's a specific chapter titled Guilt. It says we need to learn how to deal with guilt. Why? Because from now to becoming a pure spirit, we're going to make mistakes. But if I don't learn how to operate under guilt, I'm not going to progress. If every time I make a mistake, I get depressed, I punish myself, self-punishment, you saw the case. Self-punishment, it's counterproductive. It's not helping us. So remember the book Paul and Stephen? There we see the behind the scenes of a man who became a criminal, Saul of Tarsus. He was a murderer. It doesn't say that, but he was. He murdered people to safeguard his religion. What we're seeing in Gaza was second nature for them then. Today we're horrified seeing this. Then it was natural. You are not saying what we needed you to say, you're out, eliminated. When he discovered he was wrong, what did he do? Did he go to his scorn and said, oh, I'm so bad, I'm a bad person, I'm so bad? No, he said, I'm going to correct myself and help. That's the attitude. That is humility. You know when we do what Evaldo did? We don't learn with the pain of guilt. It's because we're more than God. God is saying, no matter what you did in a previous life, I want you to start fresh as a baby. New family, new everything, new body, new school, new everything. But then we grow up and say, I was so bad. That's why I'm sad and depressed. We're power struggling with God. That's called pride. And when we power struggle with God, we suffer. And we make people suffer. So pain is given to displace that guilt, to make us start fresh and to displace 10,000 things. In Evaldo's case, he was given the whole 9 yards, and yet he power struggled with God and said, no, I don't deserve any better. He was unconscious and he was producing the paralyzing fluids that enveloped him vibratorily in that cocoon. Friends, what is the use of it? We need to ask. Jesus, I will ask a question. Huh? Have you ever heard Jesus criticizing someone? Putting somebody down? Never. He taught us things. He showed us the way, but he didn't put us down. I've never read any passage in which people said, oh my gosh, I feel so bad now after talking to Jesus. Why am I saying this? Because he is taking care of us and he is trusting us that we're going to be able to shift. If we did something wrong, I'm not saying take it lightly, saying put in God's hands, because it is in God's hands. And God knows, by the way, as Mentor Joseph said, God allowed us to make that choice for a reason, not sadistically. What reason is that? Learning. Are we open to learn? We need to be open. So, open to learn in such a way that in that environment that we're given, we find everything that we need to boost ourselves. In Evaldo's case, we saw that when he entered politics, he lost himself in that environment. So, question for us: which environment am I in? We are in the United States of America. Hmm? And is it helping us push ourselves to good decisions? Can we see the good in it? Let's go back to one of the most fascinating parts of the American history, the American independence. At the time, the people who were in the colonies, they were minding their own business, which was what? Super survival. Many of them were immigrants, if not all, of course. No, I mean, not all. I mean, we're talking about the colonies. We're not talking about the people who were already here, but we're talking about the people who came. They were in search of freedom, of a new life, of a new beginning. It was very individual decision. In that environment, there was a push for a nation to be created. There were men and women who saw it. And we know by the book On the Way to the Light, they were inspired by the Christ to create the nation that we live in today. Was it easy? No. It was bloody. They needed a lot of courage to leave their comfort zone and say, we have to fight for our rights because we're being abused. It was difficult. It took many lives. It took their very lives. People who were once friends became adversaries, like John Adams with Thomas Jefferson, friends, and then somewhat adversaries, but always united to the point that they die on the same day, 50 years later. They were instrumental. The wives, the women and men at the time. Why we're saying this? Because we needed to be like them, visionaries in our own lives. Because if we're here like everybody else, yay, let's just buy and travel and retire and yay, yay. And then like a man who came to us, he was a neighbor. He traveled somewhere, came back. Oh, I just found out I have cancer. The only way for us to stop and see, what am I doing with my life again? Because some people are just living. They're just like waking up, doing things they don't even know what they're doing. So we need to pay attention to the signs around us and to be participants in the making of the next evolutionary steps in our society. How are things going to move forward if we pay attention? If we're not afraid of connecting with people, of loving, of being there, being supportive, of praying for one another. We're not talking about building material things. We're only, it's necessary, but mostly inside relationships. So Evaldo didn't care. Plus, he had a commitment in Spiritism. And like majority of people who enter Spiritist center in this world, majority Only 10%, statistics says, only 10% of the people who enter spiritist centers become active in their practice. Why? Because we're very selfish. We go there, we take, we leave, and we do not do much with it. That's the danger. Why? Because we know the truth. And at the end, what did the doctor say here? A phrase that Jesus said, for those who are given much, much will be demanded. That's why in this book that Divaldo Franco psychographed, he talks about a hospital in the spiritual realm, Hope Hospital, that was created by Professor Ript Barçanufo, the man who is in our hallway in the picture of the Spiritist magazine. He created that hospital for spiritists who are not discarnating well. And why are they not discarnating well? Because we know this much and we don't do much with it. We live like everybody else. There are many people who watch over the internet nowadays and they're satisfied. They're like, I don't need to go to the center. I just watch online and I'm fine, and the center's around the corner. Because if you don't have a center, you need to form a center. How else we're gonna do this? There's no excuse. We need to leave the comfort zone, but we don't. We wanna be in the comfort zone. And then what happens? When we discarnate, we are supposed to help. So the other day I was telling Virginia the story of, because Jesus, Christmas time is the time in which we think more and more of Jesus, what he did, how he came. So we in the gospel at home, we were discussing about Pontius Pilate. And I reminded her that he tried in some way and form to escape from sentencing Jesus. So he knew of this mechanism. If you present at the time another prisoner and allow the crowd to choose, they would potentially choose the other one because the other one was terrible. Everybody disliked the man. But I said, Virginia, people were so mad in their minds that they chose to free him up in spite of Jesus. And Pontius Pilate knew that he was not guilty. And yet he allowed the crime to come through. No wonder his guilt escalated. He killed himself, like Judas. He committed suicide. Yes.
Do you think he was trying to save Jesus?
Yeah, in the book 2,000 years ago, I don't know if you remember, but it's not that he was trying. He was not trying that hard. He was just like saying, "Come on, we may find another way." So he did something, but it wasn't enough.
Because I think his wife told him.
His wife told him that she had a dream.
Yeah.
He didn't listen. Livia talked to him. He didn't listen. He had this other mechanism to see if people would free Jesus up. But those were the people. And then Virginia asked, how come these people didn't see? So then we go back to the book Memoirs of a Suicide. Who were the people who were casting a stone at Jesus madly, insanely? One of them, Camilo. He tells of his story back on year 33 when he was mentally ill and somebody who was very, how do I say this? He was a mentally ill person. I mean, they didn't have hospitals at the time. So he was on the loose. And when he saw the crowd, he describes, deciding between that criminal and Jesus, he was one of the people that cheered for Jesus' sentencing. And he says, I don't know why I did this. I was crazy. I was completely insane. And you see the other lives he had. One of his central themes, pride. Because when Pontius Pilate gave to the people the power, listen, the power to make a decision. Who makes a decision? Those who take the power. He could have abstained, said, I don't know this guy, I'm not going to say anything. But he doesn't know why he said something against him.
I've always thought that in a crowd like that, when you have a certain group of people who want something like Jesus not to be around, like the rabbis and all you need is a few people in there stirring the pot up.
Yes.
And the lemons, called lemons, they follow.
Exactly. Yeah.
We knew they didn't want it.
Yeah, it's a social phenomenon. The crowd gets together and they don't know what they're doing and they do things. And that's how it is. Nowadays, we see the same movement over social media, right? Somebody starts casting a stone at somebody and then people join in. They don't know why. The canceling thing, exactly. Right?
Yeah, they just awarded those two people down in Georgia. The federal jury in D.C. awarded them a big amount of money. Juliana, $1 million, because so many, they ruined those two people's lives. The mother and daughter who worked in Georgia.
It's so hard. We need to be prepared.
And there's so many people that follow that nonsense. It's like out against people that don't even know.
That's why I love Mark Twain when he said, if you're going with the flow, in my own words, I'm saying, you need to stop and reflect what you're doing. Because not necessarily it's a good thing when you're following the majority, especially in our world. Majority is not yet with the Christ. We're still minority in this planet. Only a third of us already accept the Christ. And it's already a phenomenon. Never on earth a movement like this, the chosen, has happened. Never, ever. So we see our planet is progressing, but there is still resistance. And the resistance is inside of us. And we need to ask, where am I resisting? Because Evaldo resisted to work with the Christ as a spiritist. And we are today studying this case to ask ourselves, as spiritists, not only as human beings, but as human beings who know this much, what do we need to really commit with the call to serve? And to serve is an inner movement. It's not an external movement. Because when we serve, there is no condition. But if people call me, but if they, no, there is no condition. Oh, but not now, when I retire, after graduation, after this promotion, after I buy this, after the holidays. Okay, you're sure you're gonna be here around the holidays? Because I don't know when the ticket back home is already printed, huh?
I call that going out of your way.
Is
You
that?
have to go out of your way. Then you know you're on the right path.
It's right now. You see when people are out of their way, when they say, yeah, in the new year. Oh, in the new year. Well, it's better than ever, right? But then we have to see, why not today?
You really follow that up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other side.
It's today. We have to do it today. So the question for all of us is this. What else do we need to understand that in our reincarnatory plan there is a line about our commitment with Spiritism, especially for Spiritists in the US, out of Brazil, because we're super minority. What are we waiting? If we read all the books psychographed by Chico Xavier, all the ones we've read, not all, but all the ones we've read, they repeat the same message time and again. It's today, it's service, it's about love, and it's today. I've seen people discarnating spiritists. And I will never, I know I told the story, but I will repeat because she told me I could say it. Selenia, who was a wonderful spiritist. She did her best, but she knew she could do more. And she said, almost at her deathbed, a week before she died, she asked her whole family to get out of the hospital bedroom and said, Vanessa. She held my hands and said, I want to stay here to help Spiritism. She was helping. But life was telling her, that's it for now. I said, don't worry. You will. But in God's terms. And then Mentor Joseph said, she has so much merit that she has a room in the spiritual hospital already assigned to her. When she wakes up, then there is a garden of sunflowers. So that's why he said, bring her sunflowers. We brought it. She said, when she sees the sunflowers, she's going to understand. But next reincarnation, in this reincarnation, she excelled as a wife, as a mother, as a spiritist that awoke for the commitment. Next one, she'll be given the opportunity to really focus. So it's not in vain, her willingness to do it. But it's so sad when you see life running out of your hands and you want to stay there, say, one more minute, please, I want to do something, and you can't. And to see that it's not only me observing this. Divaldo Franco, when we were in Colombia, I think it was 2010, he said to me, Vanessa, when my older brother discarnated, he's the 13th child in the family, the last one. His older brother was quite much older than him. So when he died, he called him up. He was afflicted. He had these eyes of affliction looking at me and saying, Divaldo, please help me. And Divaldo said, not to him, but said to me, Vanessa, I couldn't do anything. Of course, he prayed. He was there to help, but not in the sense that the brother wanted to give another minute. Nobody, not even a doctor, can give us another minute to say sorry, to say love you, to make amends, even to pay a $20 bill. There is no more minute. When the curtains close, it's over. And what are the unfinished businesses that we have inside of us? And Divaldo said, in my life as a spiritist, he had the opportunity to be a spiritist. He didn't want to. His brother didn't want to. He didn't want to be a spiritist. He didn't want to help Divaldo. He said he had a coffee farm. He never helped with anything the children at the mission of the way. And he said, when I traveled, and back then we used to send postcards, I would send postcards to my family. And then this brother would say, oh, he's such a show off. And then when I didn't write, he forgot about me. You see, these are people who have torments in their minds. If you say hi, what do you want? If you don't care. Mamma mia, what a tormented mind. Can you make up your mind? Can you just be happy? Can you just seek the good? Why do you always interpret in the wrong way? That's how his brother was. But when life was over, he was desperate. Because when we discarnate, our selves as spirits enveloped by the spiritual body, and the spiritual body connected molecule by molecule, cell by cell. When the disruption happens, there is an upload of all the memories. This upload, the uploading time, is when we revisit everything in our life. The things we want to forget, we're going to revisit. So let's remember. The things, oh, please don't forget. Don't remember.
Moment,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like a. I heard about it.
Yeah. And that's why Kardec, in the book Heaven and Hell, in the second part, chapter 1, he talks about the spiritual disturbance. It varies from person to person according to this upload. If we are well resolved, if we made sense of our experiences in this life, even the difficult ones, the ones in which we made a mistake, the ones in which others made a mistake, if we made made sense, we organized, and we are at peace with it, when we discarnate, the upload is quick, because we have already organized it. But if we keep pushing it down, I don't want to see, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to remember, don't say it, don't talk about it, this disturbance is going to be longer and longer and longer and painful, because it's going to be right in our face, especially the difficult memories. We cannot escape.
Courage.
Therapy, courage, and yeah, to organize this, to say, yes, I made a mistake, or the other one made a mistake, and then to know what to do with it. Edit these memories in such a way that they will be easy uploads. We need to defragment everything in our computer to be easy. And that's why we're doing the course in the spiritual being, because we need to have that courage to see it, organize it, and deal with it. And we're not only talking about things that people know of us, we're talking about mostly the things that people do not know about us. The things we think, the things we feel, the things we do and say that people don't know. They never heard of. Those are the things that clog the system. Stay there. You know when you upload something, sometimes it takes time. The other day we're making a video. What video was that again?
It was the obsession, the meeting in the dark.
Oh my Lord. Yes, that's the story for another day. But that's a good one. We won't put it today, okay, because it's too much at once. But it's for spiritists. How the obsessors organize themselves to destroy the works. And the most effective way that they use is to make us think we're clean. We are so good people. So good, so saintly that we forget to work on ourselves. But we can't go to the other extreme of feeling guilty either. Thank you, a decision in the dark. So when we were making that video, we put so many images that it was impossible for the system to export. Yeah, so we had to take another route, simplifying it, to upload it, to export and release it. And that's what happens to us. We need to go, simplify everything, and be prepared for the journey. Say, remember this, that, and the other. When it goes through, yeah, I know. But the emotions are already easy. We need to make peace with us. We talk about forgiving others, but if we don't learn how to forgive ourselves, we're failing God. Like Evaldo, in his guilt, he paralyzed.
That was a question I saw on social media today. What is harder for you to forgive others or forgive yourself? Okay. It got me thinking, like,
Yes. You see, in this video, we see to forgive ourselves is very difficult, but we need to work on it.
So much easier to forgive other people than it is yourself.
But we need to learn how to get us out of this guilt. It's a Christmas gift. Ask Santa, and Santa is going to send a letter saying, Rethought in Life, chapter 21. Yeah, but that's the good news that Jesus brings to us. He says, start over. Love covers a multitude of mistakes. So friends, let's wrap up. I'm gonna ask Carlos to play please Carlos, the encounter with Jesus. Let's use these weeks to be directly receiving from Jesus the passes, the energy medicine that we need. The encounter with Jesus is a great way for us to encounter that inner peace, okay?
You already know how to conduct yourself. Let us begin this new visualization by taking up a good position. Breathe, always slowly. As you breathe, relax. Let go all of your tensions. Allow your body to release you. Spirit. The only way you can do this is by relaxing. Begin relaxing. As you breathe in a tranquil rhythm. Modern life causes us many pressures of a psychosocial nature that make us lose our harmony. Conflicts of various origins that unbalance us. Difficulties which are in fact existential challenges that discourage us. But now, you will be able to free yourself from all these afflictions by sending to your unconscious in a mental reprogramming everything that is necessary for a healthy and harmonious existence. Visualize a mountain. Visualize a mountain, or a mount, or a range of mountains, whatever is familiar to you. Visualize it. Now, transfer yourself there. It is nighttime, and nature is festive. And you are at the top of the mountain. Let your eyes drop and reach the horizon. And you can still notice the last rays of sunshine. Note the other mountains are already in darkness. And the sky full of stars. Observe. You are alone. We are rarely alone. And now, you are alone. Alone with God. God fills the universe and is beyond it. At this moment, you can feel him closer. Let him penetrate you. At a distance, you can hear the music made by the wind, the various sounds of nature. And you are all alone on this immense mountain, or in the place of your choice. Walk slowly, absorbing the oxygen, nature's purest and most rarefied oxygen. Breathe it in. Let yourself be filled by this blessing that maintains organic life, all life on earth. Breathe in gently. Hold it. Breathe out. Look at the sky once again. You might identify some of the stars. familiar with it. But taking your eyes down in a straight line, you can see in front of you, at a long distance, a star that is moving. You can see a moving star. Observe it. It is shining brightly. It is coming towards you, and you are dazzled. As you contemplate it, it is coming closer and closer. And now, it's only yards away. It has the size of a human body, and it has become one. Observe this body, the long robes, the white material, the stoic head, surrounded by hair with combs of a honey-colored light, or a golden color. The beard over the slim chest, mixed with his hair, the strong nose. Observe the lips, full lips, slightly open, and the eyes like two torches. The ample forehead. You know him. It is Jesus. It is Jesus. Let's come closer to you. Observe him. There he is. He comes a little closer, and you see him in all his glory, irradiating a gentle light. He looks at you. The expression is one of tenderness. There is an air of melancholy, and he emanates much love. He seems to say to you without words, ask me for something. I have come to help you. Ask me for something. This is a moment, a very important moment in your life. Don't ask for trivial things. Meditate on something with great meaning, something profound, something great. And when I count to 3, ask him for it. Be brief, without justifications, without explanations. Think about what you will request. Think about it. Now, I will count. 1, 2, 3. Now, ask him. He has already registered your request, and he opens his arms, coming closer to you, to embrace you. Embrace him. Embrace him. He melts in your arms, flows into you, disappearing within you. Remember that he said, I am the life. And he is within you now, impregnating your immortal and triumphant spirit. Do not become melancholic anymore. Do not think about possible future disappointments. Do not allow yourself to hold unjustified, tormenting ideas. He is within you. So say this: I am life, and a triumphant life. Say it again, and once again. Say, I am happiness in life. Repeat it. I am fulfilled, and so I shall remain. Look at yourself. You are irradiating His light. Again, look at yourself. You are irradiating His light. Breathe it. Hold it. Breathe out. Say to yourself, nothing of a disturbing nature deserves my attention. When I return to the objective reality, I will conserve the presence of Jesus within me, and I shall be healthy, happy. Even when I'm faced with the struggles of evolution, in view of the challenges, I will remain healthy as I am now. Project this onto your conscious mind and reprogram your life. You deserve to be happy, and you are happy. Now, it is time to come back. Come back to the place where your body is. Come back. Take it totally. Feel its organic sensations. Keeping your eyes closed. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Listen to the music in the air. Hear it. Open your eyes. Feel the sensation of well-being that you retain. Gently move. If you want to, you can yawn. You can stretch. But whatever there might be, never lose touch with the sensation of well-being that you have brought back from the mountain or from the mount where you were. Hold on to this sensation and repeat the experience periodically, helping Jesus to answer your request. Through a positive attitude, an idealistic mind, a pacified heart, thanks to the interchange for the better that you will make in this very existence so that you can be happy.
While Fabiana prepares the water, I want to share something. The man who does the voice over is Greg Stewart. He's a spiritist friend, and it's interesting because on the very day that we brought him, then we didn't have these computers that allowed us for the engineering of the voiceover. So we had to go to a studio where there was a sound engineer. So like you see in the movies, just like that. We would be on one side with the sound engineer, Greg would be on the other side. And then we gave a pause. And then there was a keyboard in one of the sides of the studio. And then I heard Greg, he's so talented. The voice, he's a medium, and he started playing the keyboard. I'm like, what song is that, Greg? He said, I just made it up. I said, what? You just made it up? Can you keep making it up? Because can we record this? Because I think this matches what we're recording. Oh, do you think so? Yeah. So then we recorded it, and that's the very song that you hear. He composed it on spot, mediumistically inspired. And then he explained to me, I felt so inspired that I sat down and started composing it. And that's the very song you see. Isn't that amazing? It's incredible. Yes, please. So don't forget, for those who are over the internet, go watch Christmas with the Chosen. It ends on the 17th. But, I don't want to spoil the fun. Go to the movie theater. But I sneaked peek at the shop, the Chosen shop. They're already selling the DVD. Yeah, I bought it for the center. We're going to have our own screening. Amazon too, yeah. Thank you, friends.